Hello, it's Angel. I'm back. I'm here making a video today. I wanted to talk about what my favorite thing to grow in the garden is. And it is and always has been herbs. And herbs have been such a huge part of my life for as long as I can remember. I wanted to, once I became an adult, moved out on my own, I wanted to start making meals that were very delicious and something that was very savory and wonderful for me and my family to eat. And I started teaching myself to cook better and learned quickly that herbs are a huge part of that. And if you want your meal to really pop, to be something amazing that everybody is going to remember, you have to add seasonings to that, spices and herbs. Herbs tend to be very expensive when you buy them in the grocery store, and if you buy them fresh, they're even more expensive. Started to buy the plants and grew the plants so that I could have fresh herbs to put into the meals that I was making. My mom was always a wonderful cook, and she always used a lot of seasonings and herbs. I was trying to kind of duplicate a lot of that. My mom also raised me in a very unusual way where we spent a lot of time learning and growing up around Native American culture, and herbs are a huge part of that as well. So when I started to grow my own herbs, I quickly fell in love with them. I fell in love with the smell. If you have them growing by your front door, just walking in your house can smell like home. Started to use them more and more in cooking and growing more and more and different kinds. Then I became a bartender. Even though I wasn't working in any upscale bars, I was intrigued about cocktails, and I liked the fancy cocktails. Started researching that, and I learned that in a lot of the really elegant cocktails that are made, they use a lot of herbs in those as well. It was a lot of fun to bring fresh mint from my garden to the bar that I was working at and make mojitos for everybody. Everybody seemed to really enjoy that, especially, you know, I would do it the Kentucky Derby. You know, everybody would wear a big hat and drink a mojito, and it was a lot of fun. I started to kind of get into other parts of herbs. I got really intrigued in their history and their lore, just kind of how people throughout history and different cultures have used herbs for different ways. My first two herb books are these right here. This one here was my very first one, and it is an amazing book. It's got really wonderful pictures. It's got good descriptions of the herbs. It has uses in culinary and medicinal, and it's very thorough. It also has a lot of recipes in it for anything from, you know, lotions and face creams to how to make different dyes with different herbs. And, you know, it's just kind of been loved a lot, as you can tell. This has been traveled with me for years and years. And then I got this one here. And this one is just a little basic one. It's quite old. The copyright in it is 1969. And I really love this one just because it gives not just, you know, what the herb would be good used for cooking, but it also gives a little bit of history and lore about the herbs. You know, like here it says chive was used by Roman cooks before Christ. Chive is undoubtedly one of the most favorites of seasonings. A small bulbous plant closely related to the onion and leek, chives thrive in the United States, giving off long, slender green leaves that grow back like grass, then sheared regularly, available in a freeze-dried form for convenient spice shelf storage. Chives add zestfulness. And just, it's got a lot of really good information as far as the history and the lore. If you're wanting to learn more about herbs, I can go through Amazon and see if I can find links for some of these books, but I will just show you some of the herb books that I have that I read and use as my research for all of my wonderful herb knowledge. So this one, of course, is one of my old ones. I'm not sure if this will be something that would be available on Amazon because it's so old. This one here, I know you can find on Amazon, is an amazing herb book. Highly, highly recommend it, especially if you have any interest in foraging your own herbs. This is a really good one. I have found a lot of use and helpful information in this one as well. I have not got to really explore this one yet, but I am very excited to. This was a Christmas present from Jay. Same with this one here. This was another Christmas present from Jay. I believe my dad sent me this one, so I can look and see if I can find a link for that. And I'll leave the links in the comments below. This book here is really fun. It's got different crafts that you can do with herbs. Here's a wonderful book on plants for healing. A lot of herb knowledge in here. Herbs for their cultivation and usage. And this one here is just really kind of basic, but is very, very helpful, and it has some really beautiful pictures in it. That would be a good book for just a beginner trying to figure out what to use herbs for and the best way to grow them. So I will leave a link in the about on the YouTube page for any of these books that I can find on Amazon for you. Once I started reading about the history and the lore of the herbs, it got me to thinking about, is there a correlation with the way medicinally and spiritually the herbs were used that correlates with their nutritional value and what they offer medicinally? I started doing a lot of research, and I've got this little thing here. Different herbs on there, and on most of these I'll have, on one side I will have allspice. You use the berries, and it's mainly from Jamaica, used for easing flatulence. And then the spiritual uses for it are health, luck, money, prosperity, and success. And I've got lots of different herbs in here. There's kind of a fine line between, you know, an herb, a spice, and a flower, because they can all be used similarly depending on, you know, the plant. It's always so fun for me to learn about the different plants and the different herbs and their uses. I am so intrigued in finding the correlation between how they were used in history versus what they offer nutritionally. There seems to be something that ties those two together, and it's always really intriguing to me. Once I started growing the herbs, I started growing more things, you know, some tomatoes and peppers. When you have the herbs growing around you, that they help keep pests away from you. They keep mosquitoes away. When you plant them next to your plants, they help keep pests away from your plants as well. The plants are confused by the overpowering aroma of the herbs, and they don't smell the fruits of your vegetables as well as they would if the herbs were not growing around them. Growing herbs in my garden just to be beneficial to help with the plants that are there. Some herbs you use fresh, some you use dried, some you can use both. It's just a convenience thing. You can have basil fresh, you can dry basil, so that you have basil available in the winter months when you wouldn't normally have basil outside. You can put those in teas, you can put those in meals, you can put them in cocktails, you can make shampoos and face creams, you can make soaps. It just goes on and on. Herbs are so useful that I just don't understand why anybody wouldn't grow the herbs. So I just kind of wanted to make a video today and talking about the herbs and how much I love them and how they're my favorite plant. And highly recommend, if you've never grown herbs before, to add that into your garden. If you've never grown anything before, start out with some herbs. A lot of them are super easy to grow. I try and keep basil growing in my house throughout the winter months, because even just the smell to me is therapeutic. Full in, you know, kind of getting me out of the winter funk. I'll walk by one of my basil plants and I'll rub it and smell it, and it just makes me feel much better. That's about all that I wanted to say. Just thought that I would share that with you guys. Please comment in the comments down below. Let me know your favorite herbs to grow. Let me know any herbs that you've been too intimidated to grow. What kind of herbs intrigue you the most? What do you use your herbs for? I'm very interested in all of this, and I would love to know. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. It lets me know that I should make more videos about this topic. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, you can subscribe. If you ring the bell, it'll notify you every time I upload a video, so you'll know that there's a new one out there. If you enjoy Facebook or Instagram, we are also on those two sites as well, so you can like us or follow us or whatever those things are. And just thought I'd let you all know I love your guts. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.